Hi, I'm Ron from UnitedTaps.com, and unfortunately I'm not going to be tap dancing today, but don't leave yet. First of all, I want to say the reason I'm not going to be tap dancing today is that I've been struggling with my knees. I've been having some knee problems lately. They are just starting to get a little bit better, so I'm hopeful they'll continue to heal and hopefully heal quickly, and I can get back to releasing new videos. In the meantime, I will be putting out older material that I've done before so that you can still have some fun stuff to tap with. But what I really want to share, I want to share the progression of a student who had purchased some of my videos and he had some trouble with pullbacks. And in the course of 6 days, he went from he really can't do them to he's doing them really well. Not like 100% of the time, but he's probably shooting 80–90%. So I want to kind of walk through where did he start, and how did we get him to where he could get the pullbacks really well. So first of all, let's watch the video. The first video he sent me, he gave me permission to post this. This is the first video he sent me where he's like, I'm really struggling. So here we go. Okay, so after I watched that, my response to him was first of all, travel twice as far back. Double your traveling distance, and also try to get just a little bit higher into the air. So he worked on that for a while, and then he came back with a second video, and let's look at that. So that was after, I think, 2 or 3 days. And from there, I said, you're totally on the right track. I want you to still try to travel even further yet, and I still want you to come a little bit higher up into the air. And I said, if you start to get good at that and comfortable, then go ahead and raise your heels up. So start with your heels in the air from the very beginning. And then a few days later, this is 6 days after the very first video, this is the video he sent me. So as you can see, that's a huge, awesome progression. Like, I was so excited for him. And again, for him specifically, there are just 2 primary things I kept telling him, which is travel a little bit more and get up a little higher in the air, because often he would hit that first sound, but then his feet would just kind of stay down. They wouldn't continue to go into the air like this. Right? So that's when I was telling him to go in the air. I was basically saying, look, after you're hitting that first sound, your feet are just staying down and they need to go up. So kind of telling him that and having him travel even further than he was, because he did increase his travel distance from the first video to the second, but even having him increase that even more, you saw the result with the third video. So I just wanted to share that with you. If any of you are struggling with it, you're like, I don't think I can get these, you can get them. Depending on what your situation was. For him, it's traveling more, and he needs to bring his feet up a little bit higher. But I also have a getting help with pullbacks video. If you do a search for that, you'll likely find that. That's a free video. It's not a paid video. So that might help you as well. All right, I just wanted to share that with you. I was so excited with his progress. It's so cool. When you work with someone and they make that much progress that fast. I'm not saying that everyone in 6 days is going to be able to go from not being able to do pullbacks to being able to do pullbacks, but in this case he did. It was awesome. I wanted to share that. So if you guys are looking to work on pullbacks or work on let's say you're maybe at the advanced beginner level, that's the level at UnitedTaps.com where I introduce pullbacks. At the advanced beginner level, that's kind of like level 2. We introduce regular pullbacks. I give you some tips and tricks on how to do those. We also do crossing pullbacks. And if you go to UnitedTaps.com and you purchase any of our lessons, whether it's beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, or intermediate advanced, if you do ever get stuck on a step like pullbacks, or some people get stuck on wings, or various steps, you can always reach out to me and say, hey Rod, I'm really struggling with this step. Do you have any advice? And I'll always give you my advice. And sometimes it's helpful. I'll say, hey man, if you can give me a video so I can see exactly what's going on, then I can give you more detailed feedback. Hey, I see you're doing this or you're doing that. So that's something that we do at UnitedTaps.com to really help you. If you're struggling with something, we want you to get it. We want you to have a good time. We don't want you to hit these roadblocks and just feel stuck and stop. We want you to be able to go through those and progress like Albert did with the pullbacks. So super excited about those. So if you go to UnitedTaps.com, we've got full lesson series. These are not just single lessons or like 1 or 2 hours of lessons. This is like 12 hours, 13 hours, and our intermediate advanced is like 28 hours. Like this is a full, it's like a full lessons course. I won't say it's a full year's worth of content, but it'll get you through all the steps. Like our beginner lessons get you through all the steps in the beginner level, and our advanced beginner lessons get you through all the steps. Like the beginner level, it's like 37 different steps that you'll learn, and you'll learn to combine them in all different ways. If you're looking more just for steps, we have a huge, complete 315 tap dictionary and syllabus. We have video breakdowns and notes for 315 different tap steps, all the way from level 1 up to level 7. The level 1s are easy, the level 7s are hard, as you might imagine. But that's a cool thing to have on hand to quickly look up the name of steps. I also share the alternate names of steps. So if I'm going to call this stuff a step heel, I'm also going to let you know, hey, that's also widely called paradiddle, called paddle and roll. Some people call it dig, brush, toe heel. I'm just going to try to give you all the names that I can, because terminology is not standardized across the tap world. It is all over the place. So the more names you know, the better, basically. And so I give you as many names as possible. Now, to go along with that, I have a separate product that kind of works well with that, and that's what's called the Practice 315. For the Practice 315, I said, let's create a short practice exercise combination for each of those steps in the tap dictionary. They're usually about 32 counts, and if it's a step like a buffalo that can be done on the right side and left side, I will make sure that both sides are worked into the practice combination. It's no good if you just work the right side and then the left side never gets worked. You need to be able to do a buffalo on the right side and the left side. So the combination will be level appropriate. So if we're doing pullbacks, which is a level 2 step, the combination for pullbacks will be a level 2 combination. So it's going to go perfectly. It's going to match and mesh perfectly with that tap dictionary. Now, in the practice combination, I'm not going to explain what pullbacks are. That is what the dictionary will teach you. These are what pullbacks are, and here's how you do them, right? And the practice exercise combination for pullbacks will assume you know how to do a pullback. The exercise combination is more, let's put it in the context of doing other steps. Because it's fine if you can do pullbacks just by themselves, that's good. That's an accomplishment, no doubt about it. But in the tap world, you know, you're not just going to stop in the middle of a dance and do like 26 pullbacks. It's more like you do stamp, stamp, pullback, clap, pullback, peel, pull out, peel. That's more of like what you would actually do versus just pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. So the combinations are not just like, well, let's do 8 pullbacks in a row. It's let's do some stamps and some pullbacks and flaps. Let's do some other things mixed in. Because that's how you have to be able to do a pullback, not just by itself. That's one way to do it. You do need to be able to do it by itself, but you also need to be able to do it in the context of an actual combination. And so that's what these practice combinations do. It's great for teachers. Like if you want to have combinations lined up, it's so cool. It's like, well, what are we going to do today? Well, I want to teach my class cramp rolls. Good, you've got a cramp roll combination lined up and ready to go, which is awesome. You know, or it's your more advanced one. You know, we're going to be doing a double pullback with toes. We've got a double pullback with toes combination lined up and ready to go. There are written notes with counts for all of the combinations. And over here for the tap dictionary, there are written notes with counts for all of the steps. In fact, all of our content has written notes with counts so that you always know what you're doing. So if you need to reference that, you've got that reference point. We also have choreography from beginner up through advanced. If you've not done a full piece of choreography before, like if you've just done combinations at the ends of lessons, that's cool and that's great. But learning a full-length dance, you know, 2 minutes and 20 seconds up to 3 minutes, depending, with arms and head movements and being able to remember all the steps going from beginning to end, and to be able to get through that with stamina and have some energy and not be like huffing and puffing at the end. To be able to do that is a really awesome personal challenge. So if you haven't undergone that personal challenge, I highly recommend it. We have, like I said, choreography from beginner up through advanced, all different levels, different styles, different types of music, no music, all different things at UnitedTaps.com, so you might want to check that out. We've also got workouts if you're like, yeah, hey man, I need to get some exercise in during this quarantine time. Well, we've got workouts level 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, and intermediate advanced. I guarantee you'll be sweating. I guarantee you'll be sweating. You're going to feel it in your legs, which is awesome. That's the whole point. But here's what I love about a tap workout. Yes, you get the cardio and you get the exercise, but you actually improve your skills. So it's like, well, I'm going to get exercise and get better at tap at the same time. Yes, please. I'll take that. So that's really cool. So those are our workouts that you can check out. We've got lots of different music that I use in various videos that I release. That's also at UnitedTaps.com. So we got a lot of great stuff. I hope you check it out. Oh, we do have our recently we released a beginner across the floor series. This is 30 across the floor combinations at the beginner level. And here's what we did. For this one I said, I want it to work for students and I want it to work for teachers. So for students, for each combination, I've got a nice slow breakdown. I teach it to you on the right, so you learn it on the right, and then I teach it to you on the left, so you learn it on the left. So you're learning how to reverse. That's a key skill that every tap dancer should have. If you learn a pattern, a step on the right, or a pattern that starts with the right foot, you should be able to reverse it. Now, not instantly, well, eventually instantly, not instantly when you're a beginner, like it takes some time. So I break it down slow. When we switch to the left, I don't assume, okay, you can just do it. No. I was like, let's try it slowly on the left and work through it and build up your skills so you can do that. So we have 30 across the floor combinations, but here's the cool thing. For each combination, after you've mastered it, I've got a harder version of that combination. So when you've mastered it, you're like, I'm ready for the next challenge, Rod. What's it going to be? I've got a harder option. I'll be like, okay, change that cramp roll to a double cramp roll, change that flap to a flap heel. I'll show you what changes to make, and then I'll walk through the changes with you, and then we'll do that with music. And we do that for all 30 of the combinations. So it's basically like having 60. You've got like 30 combinations, like at the beginner level, and then if you master that, I've got harder options of all 30. So it's like having another 30 in essence. So it's like 60 total. So that's for my students. And here's another thing. One of the requests I got is a lot of people said, hey, after I learn a combination, I like to just dance the combination, but I don't want to have to watch the learning part of the video again, or I don't want to have to try to fast forward. So I said, okay, we got your back. For every combination, there is a run-through video where it's just, I'm doing the combination with the music so you can do it along with me. I do the regular one on the right and the regular one on the left, and then I do that harder option on the right and the harder option on the left. So if you just want to run the combination with music, we've got you covered. Teachers, now I thought about you. Here's the thing. If you want to use these across the floor combinations for class, which is totally perfect, there's 30 of them. That's basically a full year. I know a full year is like more like 36 weeks or something like that. But those last 6 weeks, you're working on recital. So that's like 30 different combinations throughout the year. You're set, plus you've got the harder options for that. That tap dancer who you give them the combination and they've got it already. Everyone else is like struggling, but they've got it and they're bored. They're like, okay, no, what are you going to give me now? Well, you've got the harder option ready to go to give that student so they have something harder to work on while everyone else is just working on the regular version. So it's so nice for that. Or you just take those harder options and be like, I'm going to use those for my advanced beginner class, and then you're good to go with that. But here's the thing. You don't want to learn an across-the-floor combination at a slow beginner speed. You want to learn it quick, right? Because we want to shorten prep time. We don't want long prep time. We want to shorten your prep time. So I have separate videos where I teach it specifically to the teacher. I teach the combination to the teacher, and I teach it much faster than I do for the student ones because you can pick it up faster. This shortens the amount of time you've got to spend to learn it, to use it in class. Not only that, you've got written notes with counts. So you may not even need the video. You may just look at the notes with the counts and be like, I got this flap ball change, shuffle ball change, stamp, stamp, dig, dig, whatever it is. You'll be able to read it right off of there. Or maybe you're like, you know what, I've got the notes. If I could just see this one time with music, I'm good to go. We've got the run-through video, all right? But if you want, we do have the teacher breakdown video. Now that one, to keep it short, is sweet. I only teach it on the right because teachers, you know how to reverse it on your left. But if you do need the breakdown of the left side, you've got the student versions where I do that. But for the teacher versions, I teach it faster. I do it on the right side, and then I go through and show, okay, here's the harder option as well, and I do that on the right side as well. But it's so much faster for the teacher. Like I don't teach it at the beginner level. For the teacher video, I teach it fast. So to recap, for every across-the-floor combination, you get a student video. I teach it slow on right and left. You get a teacher video. I teach it faster on the right, both versions, the easy and the hard. Same thing for student. I teach the easy and the hard version. And then the run-through video, which is just me doing it with music, right side and left side, the easy version and the hard version. So you get all of that. That's our beginner across-the-floor combinations at unitedtaps.com. Now, depending on when you watch this, there will also be an advanced beginner series, an intermediate series, and an intermediate advanced series. They are all filmed. It's just getting them out to market. Like I said, depending on when you're watching this, they may be there. So if you check at unitedtaps.com under our exercises section, at least as of now, they're under the exercises section. The beginner across the floors are ready, and the other ones are on their way. So that might be something, a fun challenge that you would like to take on. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, again, hopefully my knees are going to heal quick. It's been slow so far. Actually, this is the first time they've actually gone up. They were kind of going down, 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 which is really disheartening. Let's put it that way. It's disheartening. And I'm not a light tap dancer. Like when I tap, I want to hit it hard. Like that's just how I've always tapped. It's how it feels good to me. So it's been really weird because I have to do some lessons via video now because I can't do them in studio. But to keep my knees from totally bottoming out, like I've had to tap super light, which is super weird for me. But anyway, they finally started to get slightly better. I'm hoping that continues. I don't know how that's going to go, but hopefully they'll get better enough that I can start doing videos again, more recent ones. But until then, like I said, I'll still be releasing older stuff for all of you. But I wanted to share this because I was so excited with what Albert accomplished with those pullbacks. Like in 6 days, he went from like to wow, man, 6 days. When I was a kid, it took me like 3 months. It was like just try and fail, and try and fail. And then when I finally did get them in class one day, honest to goodness, I have no idea what happened. Like I didn't, like, it's not like, use this strategy, I used some brand new strategy. No, I just tried them one day after like 3 months of failure, and they just happened. To this day, I don't know what I had done different. I don't know, but it just happened. But it was like 3 months of failure before I actually could get a pullback sound. So my goal, obviously, all the strategies that I give is to get you 6 days, yes. Ideally, in class, I can get most kids, the first day I teach them, most kids, I can get them to do a pullback the first day. Not all, not usually like a full class, but probably I'd say like 90%. And most of it is travel and don't squish your toes up inside your shoes. Those are 2 huge ones. If I get them to travel further than they want to, because they'll always start with like a little tiny, they'll travel like 6 inches. I'm like, no. I'll be like, you start here and I'm going to stand 4 feet away. You get to me on 1 pullback. And that motion of trying to travel further, whatever that does, that changes the mechanics of what the legs do, and it primes the legs to actually do the pullback sound. That alone, traveling further than they think they want to or that they feel natural doing, has gotten so many kids. Now, once they get them, I'll dial it in. I'll be like, okay, you don't need to travel 4 feet anymore. We can start making it smaller as long as you're still consistently getting the sounds. But eventually we'll get it back to normal where, you can do it just traveling a few inches. But often to get people started, it's really traveling far, not squishing up those toes super, because when the kids do that, then they just get these things. Right? We've all seen those, where it's just like, they like point their feet, you can hear the foot scraping the whole way through, and it's like, I'll ask them, what are your toes doing inside your shoe? And usually they don't know, which is fine. I say, check it again. And they'll be like, oh yeah, they're squishing hard against the bottom. Okay, but don't do that. Relax them. At the most, they can do like 1 little quick tap, but if they're squeezing and holding, forget it. It's just not gonna happen. So those are the different things that I tell students. But hopefully, if you've done pullbacks, you're doing well and you don't have any problems. If you do have an issue, send me a video. I'll do my best to help you. Hopefully you have as much success as Albert. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I, of course, am Ron Howe from UnitedTaps.com, making you happier and healthier through tap dance.